do, do, do. So much anger. Ow. Can't hear you.
Oh, am I supposed to talk?
Ooh, can't hear Jeremy.
Being mad at Windows. Oh, you're ringing.
Do.
Yep,
Now
that
I
works
hear
now.
Dude. What?
Yep. It was a
It
button.
works now?
Works now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Well,
when
thank you.
when I do that, it doesn't work. Well, now I can here somewhere.
We don't need another hero.
Not bad. The Orchard's Edge. Naughty pear. I like getting naughty.
Naughty pear. I guess you reverted my audio again. Thank you.
Got an update. Should we apply this update?
You know what it is? It's an update to check to see if you've downloaded the new 18 and it removes it.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's kind of amusing. If it
Oh, you
hasn't
actually need a
destroyed your
monitor?
life. Yeah.
You don't need that. Nah, you don't need it. Hmm? No, I might have set the rig up last time.
Out of IR range.
Pile of cable. That over there is it's a good college try.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right. So is the AC on tonight?
Not here.
Like 2 weeks ago, we had a problem with the AC got turned off.
Oh.
Was it hot?
It was hot.
So hot.
Nope.
Alex took his shorts off.
Not to wear pants. Desk.
Oh. I think it was spin down.
It's just when you stop looking.
It's a big task manager.
It's Task Mangler.
Yeah. How much did that shirt cost you, Ken?
It was the low price of free.
Oh, okay. As RTX on
So
it, I figured
you're
these were
saying that NVIDIA paid you off with a shirt.
I'm saying I'll wear anything that's free.
I'll get back to you.
I'm gonna send you a package.
Well.
I didn't say in public.
All right. Wait. Was that the? Yeah, that's the right one.
Oh man, I come up with the pick.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
And sadly, I'm actually spoiled with 2. Have to decide.
I got one. First time in like 3 months.
Oh yeah, I got one. Just gotta look it up. I need to open up all these damn links.
Likely story.
What?
Nothing.
Look, I also got a free shirt.
Ooh.
That's a nice shirt.
It is a nice shirt.
No one gives me free polos.
I mean, it beats
You're
leg
not
on a
old
shirt.
enough.
I actually have a ThinkPad polo somewhere.
So Josh, why'd
Does
they
it-
put that on the front of the shirt instead of the sleeve?
So you can read it.
Sure, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
Oh.
it's the little Nike thing on the sleeve. But, so,
that's fine.
It's a Nike
Ah.
golf polo.
yeah.
Do we have an ad?
No.
Thank God. What?
Nice. Blue screen. Wait, did it capture the blue
Wah.
screen?
Well,
Nope.
No. Okay.
I would.
I was going to be very surprised.
yeah.
I would
Well,
hope.
I mean, if the graphics driver went last, it might.
True.
The network.
That's the second time that laptop has blue screened on us.
With the network IRQ Not
It says
less.
nothing about the network.
Not less than or equal to.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Can you turn up my monitors just to
Get
hear?
out the USB Ethernet adapter. Those things are solid.
Thanks.
They're good?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for this thing to still say it's 100% complete on, and yet not rebooting.
We could update this laptop to 1809 and lose all our valuable data.
Sweet. Okay, so on this one. No. Computers.
And stuff.
Computers.
Computer machine.
Damn, devil box.
I don't remember if I've picked that before or not.
This keyboard is RGBing at me. Our keyboard is grounded. Working on updates. Gee, thanks, laptop.
I played those updates before the podcast. They took about
Reverting
5
changes.
minutes.
I don't even.
It started at 100% complete.
Yeah, most
Okay,
of the time
it's
was spent rebooting. The PC Perspective Podcast. Guest starring Ryan.
Occasionally.
Maybe.
He's sort of like Pokeroo.
I want a toaster oven.
Oh, good. I guess I
used
didn't
to
pick
have one.
this.
I liked
I need to order one of these.
Oh, yeah, let me find that. 15% complete. 20% complete. Let's
Look
see.
at that update go.
Apparently it did not,
Sorry, something has gone wrong. Well, if you're picking a trash 80, I'm going to have to go Kami 64.
Fair.
Guess I should probably look something up. No more SSDs. No more.
Seems a little harsh.
okay. So we're back in Windows now. No, don't restore the stupid pages because they're not going to be on the right order.
And your pick is awesome.
What?
Your pick is awesome.
Yeah, I've been meaning to buy one. They're just now, like, they were pre-order for a while, and I wouldn't pre-order from a site like that. I've been meaning to pick one up.
Dude, we have liveliness. Look at that.
It's working again.
Oh man, refer and get $3.
Really need a mouse on this machine.
You want me to get your mouse?
Well,
That's not great. I think maybe that update not the
Well,
best.
that blue screen again. I only got 2 tabs open.
We can pull out the old laptop. It's still got the client set up. It's somewhere here.
somewhere out there.
Maybe I should let this reboot on its own
Thank you, 5.
instead of forcing it like I did last
I
time.
think it might be a
Oh, what's that?
me trying to figure out what tip is included with this package.
The tip.
Ooh, just the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
What
Glad-
did the,
glad
what,
you were there
what
for
did the
me,
leper
guys.
say to the prostitute?
So
Pumpkin spice blue screen of death.
I'm surprised Blizzard hasn't done that yet for one of their games.
Who's to say they haven't?
True.
Now DPS very slowly this time.
I did 2 things.
More dots. More dots.
Maybe we should probably try plugging it in, wiring it, because it is a network error.
Or at least that's the network.
Maybe
AC
that's
is
an issue
good.
Wow.
with the Wi-Fi driver on whatever update it just applied.
Computer have an actual.
Well, it's got a hinged one.
Oh,
Ah,
hello. He's talking to you.
It's
on this side.
Of course it's on that
Of course, it's on this side.
buried. On airplane mode now.
Oh.
So there's that. Disconnect.
What? Wait a minute.
So it doesn't try to use it. It's connected wired.
Okay.
Try again, I guess.
Do it again.
From the top.
Okay, so this thing is like about to take off.
It will slow down.
Thank the Lord I have.
This happens every
Dear.
week.
Once he gets to cruising altitude,
Just start doing the other stuff and see if it blue screen so we know if we need to change computers.
Okay. Doing the same things I did last time. Start the thing.
Not working.
Do you need the IP?
No.
Yeah, it should auto discover.
Oh, okay.
Should.
All right. We will go to the same page. Then we'll do the same double click. And then I will do the hold down the control and I click the thing. And then
No. Wow, this thing's being ornery, isn't it?
Oh,
oh no. No.
Nope, nom, 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 nom.
This is why I need a mouse.
Yeah, I'm still not getting a feed from
Well,
it.
first you
though.
need to not blue screen.
Also true. If I had a mouse, I could more rapidly get it to full screen probably.
I told you to DPS very slowly.
DPS very slowly.
50 DKP minus.
What the?
Yeah, I've got no feed coming from there now at all. It enumerates, but there's no video coming off of it.
But
It's annoying.
It did
hold
that.
on. I'm opening tabs here. It's a very delicate operation. You son of a... Get over there.
Oh no, that's the new
good thing we don't podcast in VR. That'd be very disturbing for a viewer.
I'm like, no wonder it's post screening. That's the... Oh, ready with no connections. Let's see here.
Might have to open up the firewall.
Show cursor, loop back, blah, blah. Okay.
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 Someone get him a trackball.
Just try relaunching it.
Okay. Just keep swimming.
Mhm.
Do you know that moons can have moons, and those moons
Yeah.
are called
I saw-
moons?
I saw 2 connections and 0 connections. Then 4 connections.
Yep.
Damn
that
it,
chewed me up
Moon!
today.
Then 2 connections. Then 0 connections.
Moons.
It's like it's trying.
All fun and
Yeah, it's
games
trying
until
real hard.
moons you.
Yeah.
Is the Wi-Fi active still on it? Maybe.
No.
No, I disconnected it on that.
I mean, it gets the thumbnail. You're looking at desktop, aren't you?
I'm on the desktop. And I got the browser open.
Yeah. There's nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. I mean, that's still
Wow.
got a frame buffer from
Oh.
ancient, but
Oh.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Oh.
Their bio.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's got a hideous stand, but
What do you want me to do?
Yeah. It's FreeSync.
You want me to try wireless again?
let's just swap out for the old one.
That's actually a really good display too. We've had it in for testing the Nexius. It does overdrive well, which is fairly rare.
And swap out for the old laptop. Was that one wired or wireless we were using?
Not the didn't
Okay.
Newegg have on special
Gotta
a
be dead.
MSI G-Sync for $4.99? It was,
Yeah, I think I saw something.
IPS 1440 27-inch. But yeah, it's $100 more.
All right, so I'm going to
Let's get a $40 gift card.
stand by.
Everybody loves Moon, Kyle. Everyone.
So put on the floor, I guess. No,
Probably not.
no. We don't hate it that badly yet.
yeah.
Plug the network cable into my butt. Let's see if I blue screen. Yep.
It can only negotiate 10 100 up there.
Yeah, sorry. I can only clench my butt cheeks at such a high frequency. Okay. I cast show notes.
So you're
Oh,
saying
I gotta run the thing.
so your
Oh, wait.
your nerve endings also act as a phi?
Wait, the thing is running.
Maybe try relaunching it because it
Yep.
was asleep.
Let's try. Oh, it was just trying to connect right as I. Okay. How many of these are there? Is there only one running? Good. Yes.
Make the magic happen.
I got no connections.
Hey!
Hey,
All our
Steve.
secrets.
Two connections.
Okay. 517. Where's that mouse?
You want the mouse back?
Well, my problem hasn't been solved. I still have to. Oh, you gave me this. You gave me this other laptop that has a mouse. Yeah. Wait.
You don't need a stinking mice.
Oh no! Watch it blue screen when I plug in the mouse. We're setting up the mouse. Oh Jesus!
Yeah, there's a. Yeah.
Whoa!
EPI slowly out.
Oh Jesus!
More dots.
All the dots. All of them. You just went too.
Ah yes, we can open the things so much faster now, and with more precision.
And accuracy.
Ah yes. Oh, I got a better pick of the week.
Better?
I got a better pick of the week.
That's nice. Price.
I believe it's not better.
Wait a minute. Oh, somebody moved me to the beginning.
Yeah, you're hosting. Have you done this podcast
Nobody
before?
ever puts me at the beginning.
You're always at the beginning when you host.
So someone put Alan in the beginning.
My position is usually still at the bottom of the picks of the week. All right.
Once in the Navy.
What? What's that got to do with anything?
I saw a post on the Reddit
Why
joke
is this still
subreddit
opening?
this morning that was Right up Alan's alley.
Oh boy.
Oh dear. Oh, the poor laptop. I opened the tabs too quickly, apparently. It's still loading them.
Yeah, you jacked up the sidebar, Alex.
What happened?
Well, we're gonna have a
Number and data
sidebar. We're gonna
aren't
have
correct.
lawyers come up to the judge.
Hey, it's not the 3rd.
What a sidecar.
Ah,
Podcast
son of a-
516.
Hey, it's not 516.
Not?
It's 517.
Sure is.
Son of
October
a-
10th.
Is what-
I can't take you anywhere, Alex.
I know, right?
Which
This
is
is why
because
we-
I simply can't afford it.
This is why we can't have.
You're
nice
too high
things.
class for me. High class.
Derpa.
Muhammad Jihad.
Do, 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 do.
Fun fact. I watched that movie for the first time.
Which one?
On-
the
I watched that movie.
Team America.
Yeah, I watched that movie
On
for
a
the first time
submarine.
on my Dell Axum off of an IBM micro drive plugged into the Dell Axum.
Of course you did.
In-
Of course you did.
In the officer's study at battle stations when we actually launched 2 ballistic missiles with the warheads removed.
Well,
course.
duh.
I mean, what's
But we actually, so I was watching Team America alone in a place that only officers are supposed to be
while blowing
Well,
up
Because
everyone
you
else
could.
is working.
while watching a movie.
All right, 10,
I'm glad that you were so important to the submarine that
Well, I was actually,
were allowed
that
to
was
do that.
actually Damage Control Central. So, like, should anything have gone wrong, I would have been the first person to be receiving reports. But since nothing was going wrong, I was just chilling watching a movie.
yeah, the most I've laughed in a long time was the outside the bar scene. It just killed me for some reason.
Let me guess. You
Those guys are-
salvaged that micro drive out an iPod.
No,
That's exactly what you would have done.
no, I bought it off of eBay or something.
Oh, so someone salvaged it out of
Well,
an iPod.
I don't know,
Someone
'cause it
else
had-
took it out of the iPod.
It had the actual, like, the legit label on it.
I
It didn't
think
look like a
this-
white label.
I don't know if they were white label or not. I can't
Oh.
remember.
If
That's
they weren't,
too
then it
fucking
could have
long
very
ago.
well been from an iPod. But yeah, you know,
Do you know Johnny Walker has a white Walker special edition blended Scotch now?
Yep.
It's just. I mean,
Just
I
the
like their
licensing
Blade Runner
plus the cost of
2049 or
a-
2049. That was kind of a cool bottle.
yep, that was it.
It was like double black.
I think
And
I had-
now
Wasn't there like a 5 gig
Game of Thrones.
version?
I think so.
I had the 5
What?
gig version.
Yeah.
Yep.
The licensing on that
Microdrives.
must have killed them, Josh.
The what?
The licensing on that.
With the Game of Thrones, the
Mhm.
Blade Runner.
Yeah. Well, I think Game of Thrones more than Blade Runner.
It's also where I had
Probably.
stored
One's more greedy than
the
the other.
offline database version of Wikipedia.
Yeah, those Blade Runner ones went really, really quickly. There's like 50,000 made, and they were snatched up.
I tell you what's awesome. Stuck out in the
What's
middle of the
awesome?
ocean for 3 months, and you're the only guy on the submarine with Wikipedia. People were waking me up to look
Sounds
shit
not
up
awesome.
on Wikipedia. Al, where's your pocket thingy? Where's your pocket brain?
Things you don't want
Let
to
me-
hear on a sub.
Let me get on Wikipedia, man.
Where's your pocket thingy?
Where's your pocket
You
brain?
got, yeah. Hey, Alan, you got any more of that Wikipedia?
There was some like
Oh.
They Might Be Giants song that like somebody was looking for the lyrics to. Sure enough,
Oh, jeez.
it was in the frickin' Wikipedia entry. It was
Wasn't
frickin'
there some
amazing.
company that made like a Wikipedia handheld that they like occasionally release updates for as like an offline version of Wikipedia?
Oh, good
A-
lord.
Some
Like a
Yeah, it's
like a
called
guide.
Expedia. No, wait.
For a
It's called
hitchhiker?
Expedia.
yeah,
It's
they
like
were
a
It's more like
Galaxy
the
from
Microsoft
Hitchhiker's
Encyclopedia.
Guide.
Was it
Encarta?
Encarta?
Yep. With like 12 CDs in a
Yeah,
stack.
yeah, with the CD.
yeah.
Yeah.
Please
Bring
insert
back
disc
Encarta.
7.
Man, that was like the best shit in high school. It had a computer. It had a CD drive in it. And you could look up any book in the library off of that thing. It only took it like 30 to 40 seconds to do the search. But man. Anyway, ready?
Yep.
Maybe.
For what?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
As I'll ever be, etc., etc.
Yeah. You're muted? Should I be muted too? We could just both.
Just be talking muted.
That ain't funny.
Yep. Anyway.
Think that's funny?
Uh-huh.
I've been meaning to buy a lab coat and a bright orange wig for Halloween.
Beaker.
I would be extremely amused by that.
Oh, that needs to
I
happen.
just don't have Halloween plans yet.
Oh,
or else I
man.
would totally
now you
do it.
do.
Oh, that so needs to happen. All right, let's hope my voice holds out. 3, 2. Hey, everybody, welcome to the PC Perspective Podcast. This is episode number 517, being recorded October 10th, 2018. I'm Alan Malventano.
I'm Jeremy Hallstrom.
I'm Josh Walrath.
And I'm Ken Addison.
Yeah, we're missing Orion.
I mean,
Not only that, but you don't even have a Jim in the background editing a mailbag.
That's
he's
true.
already done.
But that's
I
because he's
know.
already done.
Yeah.
He is.
Somebody was on the ball.
He has gotten over his illness mostly.
Yeah.
He came in the office just long enough to try to give us an infection.
In the sweetest way possible.
Yeah. I just wanted to spread the rest of whatever it was that he had.
Spread
and
the love.
Make sure it got paid it forward to the rest of us.
I've been disinfecting every surface before I touch it because you and him have been sick.
That's true. I've been sick for like a good week and a half too. I'm finally getting over it. You still hear it in my voice a little probably. Anyway, let's get into the minutia of the starts of the show. PCPro.com/podcast is where you'll find the show notes for this show. Twitter.com/some guy who's never here, and then Twitter.com/PCPro. So you might as well just use the PC Pro one because
Yeah.
who knows where that other guy is.
Plus, I've got access to that one, so you never know what's going to
Yeah.
pop up there.
Is he going to be back next week? Maybe. No.
No, Josh
No.
and Ryan will be out next week.
We're going to be out. Know what I'm saying?
I think I might have also been out next week, but I'm not going to be out next.
Yeah.
Was that supposed to be next week?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm there might have just been like just Alex here and like an empty desk. Anyway.
It may come to that.
Yeah. PCPro.com/subscribe is where you can subscribe to our mailing list. You will get an email when we're about to do a show. Was there an
Yep.
email? Oh, there was an
I
email.
remembered this week.
All right. Awesome. Patreon.com/PCPer is where you can kick us some coin and help us, keep the lights on and stuff. And one of the things from this was the mailbag, of which there's probably, as you're listening to this, there should be a mailbag posted.
Not
Featuring
now.
the dulcet tones of Josh Walworth.
I mean, not like the live.
Dulcet.
If you're listening to it live, no, not yet. Don't scramble for it just yet. We finish listening to this, and then go to bed, and then when you wake up, it'll probably be there.
Probably.
Probably.
Probably, maybe.
Maybe.
Jim is dying.
Possibly.
He's trying to not die.
Yeah.
JoshTech.com, 2Ks at the end, is where you can get the Super Pipe shirt or the Josh Tech shirt or print.
It's
Or-
funny. This next week, I've actually got a wheel review coming out.
Nice.
I am shocked.
Nice.
I know.
I'm so surprised that you're doing a
Well,
review.
it's surprising because my writing has been horrific, and I'm trying to change that badly because I too would like to get paid.
Well, yeah.
It's always nice.
Yeah.
Money is good to
Yes.
be able to again keep the
In
lights on.
exchange of
Goods or services.
goods, yes,
But not good service.
not good service.
I'm gonna tie this. I'm gonna hold you to it now, Josh. The next podcast in which we feature a wheel review, I will put the Josh Tech merch on sale.
Oh, hey. You know, the best
So-
part about me getting that up in the next couple of days is I'm not going to be here to talk about it on the podcast.
Exactly. It's like a win-win.
I know. It is. Somebody's going to have to read my tripe
So whenever
and
Josh is
figure out
out,
what I'm trying to say.
whenever Josh is out, the merch goes on sale.
Yeah.
That should just be a thing.
Seems reasonable to me.
Good thing we
Yeah.
don't sell Ryan
Yeah,
merchandise.
we can't do it when
We
Ryan's
couldn't
out.
afford to do that. Taking losses.
Okay. You want to just get into the reviews?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Christopher Koch reviewed the Razer Huntsman Elite optical flagship keyboard. An optical keyboard. Like optical, like is every key optical?
Mhm.
Oh, optomechanical switches. Check that stuff out.
Sounds steampunk.
Yeah. Is this the one they do like proportional or not proportional? There was some technology a while back
Yeah, that's not
that's not this.
this. That's made its way into a Cooler Master keyboard, I believe.
Oh.
I don't know if that keyboard has come out yet, but it was at least announced.
Okay, so like
They look like Space Invaders.
what's going on in the keys?
So
Like,
part of this is Razer claims you get double the lifespan. They rate each switch for 100 million presses, which makes sense, right? Less mechanical shit to go wrong in that
yeah.
in that small area.
But does it still click or no? This one wouldn't click, I would imagine. Right? They wouldn't try to
No,
put
I think it bottoms out. It doesn't click,
Okay.
essentially.
What's going on there with
Why
the
is
pogo
there
pins and the
Connectors.
That's for the wrist.
Oh,
wrist,
lights.
which has LEDs in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it does anything else than that. Maybe.
Yeah, it's got the RGBs. It needs to get power over there somehow. I mean, in theory, they could make other accessories, but I don't really know what you would do.
Yeah, because there just seems to be more pins there than you would need for just RGB.
Yeah.
Grab a couple of lights and stick them in your fingers and lick it and see what happens.
It's got a wheel, kind of like that Logitech keyboard, the Logitech Craft.
Yep.
So you can control it. I'm not entirely sure what level of app support it has, but through the Razer Synapse 3 software, it looks like it has Zoom support in Windows and Office. You can adjust your mic levels. You can program it to do a bunch of different stuff. And they have dedicated media keys, which is kind of a new thing for Razer. I don't think any of their other flagship keyboards have actually had dedicated media keys, which is kind of insane if you think about it. Like,
Mhm.
that's one of the key things I want from a keyboard.
Yep. Makes sense.
So it says that all the keys can be rebound. Is that for every key, or is that just for the media keys? It was at the very top of this page where it mentioned it.
No,
I mean, if you're that bored, you can reprogram them all.
I think that is for everything.
That sounds like a Razer thing.
Yeah, so if you hold down, well, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
You'll have to read the article.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've read this one. It went up earlier in the week.
So let's see. $200. Oh wait. The standard Huntsman retails for $150, but it doesn't have the dial and the accessory terminal.
It's an expensive keyboard.
Yeah.
However, if you're in the Razer ecosystem using their other RGB stuff, you have one of their mice, maybe one of their headsets, having the whole chroma stuff would be nice, right? If you know all the lighting stuff, tying it together. Seems like a pretty well-built package. A lot of programmability. Got the dial. I mean, $200, as crazy as it sounds, isn't the most expensive keyboard you can buy anymore. It's definitely on the higher end. It could be like Alex and buy an Ergodox for, let's not discuss.
$350.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Alex buys medical grade keyboards. Okay. I guess that brings us to the next thing. Next item up for bid. Gigabyte Aorus P850W gold power supply. We'll just jump right to the let's see, 10-year warranty, $150.
Or is it Gigabyte's making power supplies?
Gigabyte's making power
Gigabyte's
supplies?
selling power supplies.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're probably a rebrand of somebody.
Yeah.
Let's take a look on the inside and see if we can figure out who. Oh, nice, fully modular. Okay, so you can have fun sleeving those cables if you want to. What's with this?
Yes,
What's
yes.
with this?
Familiar.
What's with this? With the PCB just
Yeah.
chillaxing on the edge of
Hanging
the.
around.
Oh, that's
Huh.
where the NSA taps in.
Oh, that's that chip. That chip
Yeah.
we were
That's a
reading
super
about.
microchip.
That's
There you go.
That's the China chip. It's right there.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
So it's doing
Um,
pulses through our energy grid
Yeah.
to
Yep.
Well, that's how it gets. That's how information gets out. It's just that, like the
yeah,
Ethernet
it's
over
500
power.
kilobit
Yeah.
per second, maybe at most.
Right.
Okay,
right,
probably
right, right.
far
What's
less.
funny is we're joking about this. Watch that actually be what that is.
I mean, how would you know? I mean, you pull one of these apart, and there's just so much stuff in here that you could easily stash something in there.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I've
know.
got to ask: is how is that?
What?
Is it glued down at the bottom or something?
I don't know.
Or is it
I
just
don't know
hanging
why
there?
this
Trying to
isn't just
see.
it looks like it's just hanging, so I'm not sure what.
Oh, just scroll down. It looks like it's sitting on a coil. Sure,
That's
Oh.
even better.
Hmm.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
probably a surge protecting. Is that like a triac, like a big beefy triac or something? Maybe with a
Big
circuit.
beefy triac.
Sorry, Josh. Sorry.
You got them all hot and bothered.
Well, because usually the triacs and surge protectors are very small
Well,
looking things, but if you know,
You got Capman and you got Triac Man.
yeah. Okay. Anyway, do we know what this is supposedly a rebrand of?
It's.
I'm amazed that they're
mentioned-
actually silk screened on the PCB there,
Well, Gigabyte's silk screen on
Yeah.
the PCB.
but it says it's MEIC.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see how it did. Where are we going?
Doo-doo-doo.
Yep. Sorry.
Gold award, even with hangy bits. You know what I'm saying?
Filter caps on modular cables, not sleeve to cable bundle. That's the only weakness he had, and it was a minor weakness at that. All right. I mean, it looks like it's checking all the usual boxes for a decent power supply.
10-year warranty though.
Yeah.
Wow.
850 watts, 10-year warranty, and $150.
Yeah.
So,
So in
if you-
9.5 years, when your dangly bit falls off, they'll still put it back on.
you know, so if you're one of those people that likes to have, you know, all the parts in your system from like the same vendor, and I don't know, some folks are, you know, partial to that sort of a thing. They try to, they'll have like, you know, Gigabyte and everything and all the things, except for like the CPU.
Be impressive.
Yeah, it would be impressive. All right. What do we got next? Oh, Maury's been busy. Yeah, I know. He's been keep hearing him in our backroom chat talking about working tirelessly away on
Working hard.
working on motherboard, the next motherboard review. So Gigabyte. See, speaking of the Gigabyte, all the things, right? Like so, with that power supply, you take this Z390 Aorus Pro. Nice looking board, black and orange.
Logos look so familiar.
They do. They do.
Socket looks so small.
Yeah, so this is their
yeah.
one of their Z390 options, which technically aren't out yet. So this is kind of a preview. Well, it's been announced that the 9900K will be for sale. Is for pre-order right now. Will go officially on sale next week. So
Yep.
you could probably think about when the timing might be for some of this content.
Sure.
Oddly enough.
Okay. So what do they have to do different on this? Because this is like
Where's the Chinese spy chip on this layout?
It's sandwiched in between layers. You can't
yeah,
see
it's
it.
underneath the
Okay.
battery, which is why
Okay,
Maury
it's
always pays so much
right by the
attention.
clear CMOS.
Yeah.
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 It's the codec over here.
Where the crab, huh?
So like, what's the deal with the 390 boards? Like, what do you have to have this to put a 9900K in it?
Nope.
So that you could put in a 370 board.
Any
So-
300 series board.
So then, what's the 390 for?
It adds integrated Intel USB 3.1 Gen 2 in the chipset, and also Intel wireless. Now, some vendors aren't taking advantage of the Intel wireless.
Okay, but it's at least capable of it.
Yeah.
Still no Thunderbolt.
What about PCIe lanes?
No Thunderbolt.
Still no Thunderbolt. built
PCIe
in.
lane's still the same.
Oh,
The core chipset functionality hasn't been changed at all. However, what Z390 allows vendors to do is sort of optimize the VRM designs around these new processors that have they're within the same TDP, but they could have different power draw sort of characteristics. Right?
Okay.
Because if you have a 8-core hyperthread processor, you might see different. You might need a slightly different VRM design even for the same 95-watt power delivery. If you think about how they turbo and stuff like that, like
Right, because they do short burst. It's like the 95 watt is the thermal limit, not necessarily the power limit.
yeah.
Right, so it can actually intermittently take more juice.
And
Then,
I mean, the new processors are soldered, so you can have, in theory, more overclocking headroom. So you might want to beef your VRM.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Poor
is sort
Tim.
of the traditional.
Tim always gets soldered.
So is that the VRM is just like slightly beefier by the like base spec for the board as well?
There's no,
you always get
nobody knows what the base spec is.
Oh,
for
because you always
these
get the
motherboards.
motherboard makers always end up doing
Sure.
some crazy board with like 30 phases and all this other stuff, which is like way overkill compared to what you might be plugging into it. But
Sure.
like, I don't know.
I mean, look, this happens with every other Intel CPU launch. They launch a new chipset that's doesn't really have a lot of new functionality.
Yeah,
The processor remains backwards compatible. Like this is another one of those.
it's like
It's
TikTok.
another-
talk,
That is
talk,
the
talk.
feature for these
It's
updates.
an opportunity for these guys to take another stab at these motherboards. Maybe their Z370 designs had some weaknesses, and
Okay,
updated motherboards.
sure.
We'll have to wait and see for the final reviews to see what Maury thinks. Cram more features in. That's what motherboard vendors do.
Man, look at the, geez,
Yeah, they're claiming.
crazy thick power plane.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Interesting. 2x.
2 8-pins. It's kind of a lot for a Z series motherboard.
The
yeah.
2x copper is not new for Gigabyte.
Yeah.
They've been pimping that out for years with no real data behind it to get anybody else to do it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, look at those lanes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's. Oh wait,
I still can't believe that they have not expanded PCI Express.
Yeah.
It's kind of ludicrous.
like
It's what, 16 lanes and plus
Yeah.
4 to the
To the chipset.
to the chipset.
Yeah.
Crap.
yeah.
I mean, I wonder if in all of this 10 nanometer not actually being a shipping thing for many, many years, whole debacle, if that wasn't planned in there somewhere and they just, they've been stuck on Skylake cores and they just haven't been able to retrofit anything in.
Yeah.
That's kind of bullshit.
I wouldn't be surprised if they
Swap
would-
out your PCIe controller and you
Yeah.
can add more lanes.
no,
I mean,
I'm
how
not-
many stinking lanes do Xeons have? No, it's all artificial. They don't need any more than 16.
Bolt it on like an AMD GPU.
Okay, so
Huh?
how do
Bolt
you
it on
tell?
like an AMD GPU.
How do you
Yeah.
tell which of these ports is the 3.1 Gen 2?
So one above the Type C port, probably.
Yeah,
It's the one that
probably.
tastes more like pineapples.
I just like,
You lick
but
it.
they labeled it the same.
Yeah.
Like, guys, what?
They both. Yeah.
It's like
I
3.0, 3.1, 3.1. It's a different kind of red. Ooh, it's like redder red. Yeah.
Actually, all of them are Gen 2. So there.
This one is too?
I
There's
think so,
one
yeah.
Type C Gen 2 and 2 Type A Gen 2.
Oh, wow. So they're all Gen 2.
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
Wait, are you talking Linux now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Gen 2.
Gen 2.
Anyways, I guess we can move on to actually discussing these processors, which we've already discussed a little bit because that's the next
Oh, you
news story.
want to? All right.
Gen 2.
Oh, wait. We forgot we didn't look at the battery placement.
He's going to have a review of this board. Leave it
acceptable.
for
It's
the
below
review.
the
Oh, this
second
wasn't the
PCIe.
review.
No,
Okay.
this is a preview.
This was the preview. Gotcha. Okay, dokie. All right,
God,
Ken.
spoilers.
Tell us
Oh.
about these announcements.
Wait, we have a priority interrupt.
Oh, priority interrupt.
Kitty
Kitty.
interrupt.
I spilled beer and my cat came to drink it.
I
Good
like
kitty.
how it just turns to look at you and then looks
Well,
at the
because you took it
camera.
away from the beer.
Like, what? What are you trying to tell these people? What are you blaming
Blaming
on
beer,
me?
not you.
Yes, Kitty, go down to drink Josh's beer.
Yes.
Drunk kitty.
Calicos are mean drunks.
Yeah. All right,
All
so you went to an Intel thing.
Yes. They could have titled the event the least kept secret in the world because
We knew it was coming.
sort of the core announcement was the new mainstream processor that we alluded to earlier, the 9th gen processors, topping off the Core i9 9900K, which, as rumored, is an 8-core 16-thread processor with a base clock of 3.6 and a single-core turbo frequency of 5 gigahertz. We've seen that single-core turbo frequency of 5 gigahertz quoted on the 8086K. We had a bit of trouble getting there, so, it's not exactly a new spec. We did see that on the 6-core stuff.
Well, we can hope this one actually hits it consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that $480?
$488 is the pricing they're quoting on that slide.
They needed to knock $2 off of that.
But that's not like end consumer processing. It's quantity 1,000 suggested retail pricing, like that. Sub 500 essentially is what these should run. Now pre-orders have been running for, I've seen on Newegg they're running them for $580, so that's probably not a great idea. It's right now is to pre-order one of these processors for more than they'll probably end up going for, at least in a couple of months.
Yeah.
God, it's so much more expensive than 2700X.
It is. However, if you think about the single-thread performance of Intel and how the 8700K looks versus the 2700X, and its one downfall, in theory, they fixed that, right? Now that they have core count parity. One of the other downfalls was the lack of good thermal interface material between the die and the heat spreader.
That's been a gripe for a while now.
Yeah, because they moved away from solder. Guess what? They said, we're moving back to solder.
Oh,
Now they keep calling it STIM, soldered thermal interface material, which just seems kind of like a
ATM machine?
no.
What?
Yes,
There's not a
guys,
double
would you just
acronym
call
there.
STEM over here?
Well, I mean, okay, so what's the problem with adding the S to the...
Well, I mean, I don't know. They don't just say the processors are soldered. They say it has this new solder thermal interface material, which
It's just
likely means they're soldered, but I guess it could mean that they have
Well, it says solder based.
a soldered base thermal interface material. So, I mean, I don't know if anyone's verified that this is how they used to do it, or if this is a
It's
new
the
method.
new solder.
I
Same
mean,
as
I
the
wouldn't
old
imagine
solder?
them reinventing the
It's a
the
kinder,
process.
gentler.
Well,
solder.
they hadn't
Yeah.
done the solder thing in a while, so maybe they did have to reinvent the wheel.
I guess.
I don't know. That just kind of stuck out to me. The other thing that sticks out is the step below the i9, the i7 9700K is a 8-core not hyper-threaded part. So this is the first desktop i7, at least that I can think of, that isn't hyper-threaded.
Yep.
Which seems like it'll be an interesting trade-off between that and the 8700K, which was obviously 6 cores, 12 threads.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they move the i5 to non-hyper-threaded in the 8 series?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the i5 hasn't been hyper-threaded in a long time, if ever, really, on the desktop. But
But to have an i7, that's...
yeah, and the i5 moved to 6 cores, not hyper-threaded. So I don't know. I feel a little judgy about the 9700K. So we'll have to try to get our hands on one of those, pre-order one of those, and test it out.
Yeah. Just doesn't
I don't know.
seem...
It doesn't, for the same price as an 8700K currently sells for today,
Right.
it seems like you're losing stuff that
Yeah.
might be advantageous.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So many questions to be answered.
So many questions. We
Uh,
already touched on the Z390 chipset. Not a whole lot there besides the Wi-Fi and USB 3.1 Gen 2 support.
here's the part I'm interested in.
Yes.
The box?
No. Well, the box looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this list of Spectre and Meltdown
Mm-hmm.
mitigations. So what I really want to know is, are the ones that slowed things down mitigated?
Mitigated. Well, that's Spectre V2 for the most part. Is kind of what seen as the difficult one to fix, the one that had the performance impact in some scenarios, and that's
Right.
again fixed with microcode and software, like we've seen on other platforms. So we have no real idea
Oh,
any potential performance impact. However, they did fix Meltdown V3 and the L1 terminal fault in hardware. They're saying so.
okay.
In theory, there should be no performance impacts there, in general, at least.
I mean, I guess it's possible they could have somehow accelerated some of this. Like, yeah, there's this microcode plus software fix for Spectre V2, but maybe it's not as big of an impact anymore.
Yep.
Or something, right? Like, we'll have to test it to see what the difference is there. All right, so here's hoping. I guess we'll know more.
Yeah. So
in-
available next Friday
Okay.
in this weird acrylic box that I think just takes up a lot of space on store shelves, but does look kind of cool. I saw it in person, you know, for what it's worth.
It's an acrylic box.
AMD
Interesting.
kind of pioneered the fancy processor box with Threadripper stuff.
Thanks, AMD.
So, you know,
Everybody
sticks
move.
out on store shelves.
It's a
I guess.
megapixel race for boxes for CPUs.
Yeah.
Next, it'll be like the beach ball.
Yeah. Now we're thinking round packaging.
You'll have to go to
Not
like a
this-
warehouse.
Gosh, one
to
day
buy
you
your
might get your
CPU.
shipping crate.
Yeah.
You go to the loading dock in the back of the micro
Yeah.
center where they can load it into your. You have to go with your hatchback.
I want to sell a lot in America.
It's just for like one. It's like that thing where you drop the egg off of the building and it has to like make it and like not break. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that wasn't their only announcements.
Okay.
Hey, so you remember way back in Computex where Intel during their keynote showed that nifty 28-core processor they had running at 5 gigahertz
5
on all 28
gigahertz?
cores?
yes.
which
Yes. With the
we-
liquid cooling and the
Oh, the
all
more
the-
than liquid cooling.
yeah, all the crazy.
So it was like 2 power supplies and
The 1
2400
horsepower
watts and yeah.
water chiller.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Chipmunk.
that 28-core processor is now a real announced part in the form of the Xeon W3175X.
Okay.
It's not running at 5 gigahertz on our cores. Weird, I know.
what is it supposed to run at on?
Oh, they don't give the all-core number anymore.
Well, there's a base clock speed.
Sure, but they don't give the all-core turbo number anymore,
Oh.
which is the important one.
The single core is 4.3.
Yeah. So essentially, this is analogous to the Xeon Platinum 8180, which has been out for a while. So 28-core high-end Xeon scalable part for servers. This has some differences in that there's a base clock increase of 600 megahertz and a turbo 2.0 increase of 500 megahertz. So significantly higher clock speeds. It's unlocked. It's an unlocked Xeon, which is something you don't see.
Wait, what?
It's unlocked.
That you're going to plug into what motherboard?
Whoa, that's a whole nother thing.
Because like none of the Xeon boards are even going to have BIOS options to
Have,
do
have,
overclock.
have
It
you
doesn't
not
matter
seen the
'cause this won't
pictures
work
of
in
those
any of those
boards in my
motherboards.
tweet?
Oh, it's not
comparing-
going to work in there?
Yeah, so these are going to require new motherboards based around the LGA 3647 socket, which is the same socket as the server stuff, but they're going to have new quote-unquote workstation level boards from Asus and Gigabyte at launch in December. These are massive, massive motherboards.
How are they going to specify that they're the different kind of LGA
Well,
3647?
there will be a
By
motherboard from
destroying
Asus
the
and a motherboard
processor
from
when you plug
Gigabyte
it
that
in?
will work with this processor and nothing else will.
Right, I'm just saying like, well,
I mean,
I guess.
This makes no sense.
well,
Like if you were on Newegg and you looked up motherboards by LGA 3647.
then you'd only see 2 desktop motherboards.
Okay, so it's only this. So that's not the same socket type as like the regular Xeon.
It is the
socket?
same socket type.
That's my point.
But the only motherboards that exist for 3647 now are server motherboards and one dual socket Asus workstation motherboard.
Okay, so you just
So
kind of
there's
have
no
to.
existing infrastructure really.
Yeah, you just have to know.
If you're buying this part, I mean, whatever.
Sure.
You got options, and there are like
gonna
2
be,
of them.
It's going to be
Yeah.
so expensive. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as Josh alluded to, these motherboards are gigantic. They have 2 24-pin connectors. Like I think the Gigabyte board has like 64 phase VRM or something like
you
that.
You got a picture of one of these boards or no?
You know,
Oh, they did
they were
the solder thing again.
No,
No?
the 28 core Xeon is not soldered.
Oh, you have a. You had a picture of the solder thing. In it.
Yes, because there's more information in this article that we're getting to.
Oh,
Yeah, in our Slack channel, I did a picture of it. Alan.
I can't get to that from here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't grab a picture of one of those boards at the event, but if you look around on other sites, you can see that stuff. They're 14-inch by 14-inch motherboards, as Kyle Bennett points out in the chat. Going to require 2 power supplies to run. It's puzzling to figure out who this is targeting besides people who look at AMD having a 32-core desktop processor and go, wait a minute, Intel doesn't have anything close to that.
I mean, it's almost like just build the dang server at that point. If you
Well, this has a 50-watt higher TDP and is unlocked and will run at substantially higher clock speeds.
Oh, will it?
The base clock is 600 megahertz higher.
Okay.
But memory's capped at 2666, more or less.
But if it's unlocked,
Yeah, but you got 8
That's 'cause-
channels
that's
or
'cause
something
it's,
like that.
It's 6-channel ECC 2460 or 2666.
okay.
Yeah, so it's a weird amalgam of a server platform and a semi.
wait till you see the
consumer level
prices.
platform. Yeah, no pricing. They said it'll be available in December.
No, they got pricing there.
No,
Right column there in the slide.
no,
RCP
RCP
that's a
pricing.
different
pricing?
slide.
Oh.
That's the different
Yeah, okay.
CPU.
Moving to the other announcement,
Yeah.
is the is the revision to the Core X series. So we currently have.
So otherwise, it's going to be $5,000 for that previous processor.
Oh yeah, it's going to be something
Yeah.
like that. Absolutely. I mean, and the
5G.
motherboard's going to be at least $1,000. I'm sure. They're gigantic, tons of power management.
It's
and-
expensive at half the price.
exactly.
I just couldn't help but notice that these quantity 1000 pricing on the right side column here, right?
Yeah.
I'm reading that right?
Yeah.
It's quantity 1000 of a $2,000 CPU. It's just a couple $1,000,000.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
just gonna do a
as
couple
you do.
$1 million
That's-
order.
What retailers do.
You just float
yeah.
on short-term credit.
So yeah, the slightly revised Core X series CPUs, so the high-end enthusiast desktop stuff. Essentially, these are the same Skylake-based cores as we saw with Skylake X with the 7980XE and the 7900X and stuff like that, running at higher clock speeds. They're soldered again.
Okay.
No
these
new
are soldered.
chipset, no anything, no real price change. The changes do happen on the low end where they move. I think the previous low end part was a 6-core, 12-thread.
Mhm.
So now they have an 8, 16 at the bottom, and they have 2 10-core parts to kind of make up that gap. I think the 7820X was the 8-core part previously. So you have some adjustment there. I mean, if you're going to buy one of these Intel chips, you'll just buy the new generation when they come out in November instead. There's not a whole lot of change here besides thermal performance and clock speed increases. No, it's like a 300 to 400 megahertz base clock increase, and then 200 to 300 on the Turbo Boost 2.0 clock. So should be fairly substantial. Should help Intel pick up some of the grounds against that the 7980XE lost against the 2950X due to sort of clock speed stuff.
All
But
right.
hey, look at all those lanes.
Still the
finally.
same amount.
68.
If you include all
Or
the ones
more
coming
than
from the
AMD.
chipset,
Yeah.
still it's the same 44
Yeah,
from
yep.
the CPU.
All right.
And it's worth noting that these
Uh-oh.
these processors don't have any hardware mitigations for any of the side channel stuff.
Yeah. 'cause
So
they're not
it's
new
just
enough.
it's just microcode and software. So
All right. So that's all Intel,
yeah,
and then AMD.
late Friday afternoon, AMD decided to put out a press release with availability on the rest of the Threadripper lineup that they announced, the 2970WX, which is the 24-core part, and the 2920X, which is the 12-core part, which aren't out yet. They set that up, the availability for the end of October, I believe.
Mhm.
I don't have that. Let me pull up that article.
Starting October 29th.
But the more important thing they announced is super interesting. So they announced that at the same time, they're going to release a new version of the Ryzen Master software, which have a toggle called Dynamic Local Mode. And these will affect the WX processors, which have the odd memory controller.
Did you
arrangement.
say local or loco mode?
Oh man, Loco Mode would be good.
Loco mode
Or
would be
loco
awesome.
mode.
Listen, you guys are doing it wrong. You can't just say it. You have to do the motion. You have to be like
Loco.
loco. Anyway,
Crazy performance, man.
okay, so these were the ones that had like 2 of the 4 dies had memory controllers on them, right?
Yeah.
So
And
that
then the
means
rest
that-
had to hop over to the other die to hit a memory controller.
Yeah.
Which we saw manifest in some weird performance things. Definitely some decreased gaming performance compared to the 2950X.
Right. If you had a thread that was hitting the memory hard and it just OS happened to, the scheduler happened to put that thread on one of the dies that was not, like, didn't have its own local memory.
then you see a huge memory latency increase
Yeah.
because it had to jump across the Infinity Fabric and so on and so forth.
Right.
So this is a Windows service which you can enable just within the OS without having to reboot or anything from the Ryzen Master software that is supposed to remap those threads to cores that have direct memory access as much as it can.
It's
Okay.
dynamically setting thread affinity or core affinity.
Yeah.
So it's kind of working behind the scenes of the Windows scheduler to get the Windows scheduler to do what it
Yeah.
wants.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
But
Right.
why doesn't the scheduler just do it in the first
Because
place?
the Windows scheduler doesn't have that level of
Windows.
granularity.
Yeah.
Well, think of how many layers you're going here.
I mean,
like this is
I think
Yeah.
we'll get there eventually. It's actually kind of analogous to the Turbo Boost 3.0 stuff from Intel and the previous X series parts, where
That's
they had
true.
the most favorite core stuff,
that's true.
and that eventually got baked into the Windows scheduler. Now, I mean, Intel probably has an easier time getting something like that in than AMD does at this point, just with existing relationships, which is disappointing. But
Right.
I think AMD is doing this to, one, increase performance for consumers and make up what they can, which is definitely a great effort, and to kind of maybe show Microsoft, like, guys, if you do this, it will have significant performance ramifications and people will like it.
Yeah.
So maybe you should build in support for this sort of not these non-unified memory architecture
Well,
stuff.
and
Right.
figuring out to be able to do it live within Windows as opposed to rebooting, going into your BIOS, turning on game mode, rebooting, and then doing what you want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. But this isn't like they're not remapping how the memory, like the memory space. They're just kind of nudging
Nudging
the
threads around.
threads over to like where they
Yeah.
where they really should be.
Yeah.
Which probably means it's just trying to keep them on the 2 dies
Mhm.
that have local memory.
Yeah.
As opposed to letting the threads, so it's really
I mean, it'll be fascinating to see how this works, how quickly they can react, right? Like how
Yeah.
quickly are they pulling all of this stuff? How like if
probably
you're doing
just-
a very short operation, does it have time to catch up?
Yeah, it probably just tries to keep them. I don't know what it would do because if it's telling the OS, okay, here's your affinity, only use these threads that correspond with these cores, then in theory it might kind of like nerf the CPU into like being half of what the CPU
I
is
mean,
capable
in
of.
theory, AMD knows the most about the CPU, so they should be able to mitigate that as much as possible. And they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't put themselves into scenarios like that if possible.
Right. So you
But-
wouldn't want to run a thing and have it only use half the cores,
Yeah.
like because you have you bought the extra cores for a reason.
Yeah, but this only applies for things that are not going to be using the entire core count.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using
Right.
all of the cores, you're screwed. Like you're still gonna have the same problem, right? If you're using all 64 threads, or if you're using
Yeah,
36 threads, you're still gonna have a performance hit.
yeah.
on,
Some of
like,
those threads
it can
will
only
have
do
a hit.
so much, but I'm excited to get hands on, try to get a preview version of the software and test it out. Because it would be awesome if you could get some extra performance out of that 32 core processor and maybe take away some of the downsides. So that
Yeah.
was a real interesting part.
And this, so the CPU, there is no game mode anymore, right? Like there is no.
No, there is. You
Oh, there still
you can
is?
put it into game mode the same, like you can do.
Is that the one where
You can do
like?
half or quarter CCX.
Well, okay,
So
no,
you could turn it
sorry.
into an 8 or 16 core processor.
I'm using the wrong term. The other one where the memory is local.
No, you can't
versus-
put this into unified memory.
Okay.
Yeah,
mode.
creator
It-
mode or whatever
So
they call it.
so the memory is always interleaved.
Yeah, you always have two new nodes in Windows.
Right. So pretty much no matter where the thread is, half of the data being read has to come from at least the other die, the other die's
Mm,
controller, because it's interleaved.
It depends on how it's mapped.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's the thing where you used to have a switch in the BIOS,
Right.
which is not there for this particular part,
Because it would be impossible.
I guess.
Well, or
Yeah.
the performance benefit or the performance degradation would be so bad trying to map all of this memory local to all of the threads.
Yeah, that's true.
You could maybe do it. It just you would never want to.
Right, because you'd be chopping the memory into too small of bits, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you're just being way more latent. But
the where I was trying to go with that is this dynamic local mode. You'll see a gain in games. I'm inclined to believe their numbers there. It's probably it's probably something like that.
There was plenty of performance to be had in some titles, so 47% is actually a believable number.
Right. But I will say, on top of that gain, you'll probably still see a little bit more gain if you are running in-game mode, or if you had the part that you could have running in NUMA mode, where the memory.
So
where,
this is only really going to apply to the WX series processors,
right,
which you can't put into unified mode.
right. But they're talking about gaming. You're on a workstation,
Sure. And that's
know.
always been their argument, is that this isn't meant for gaming. However, if they can get some extra gaming performance out of it, and I mean, there were other applications that that are very memory dependent that saw some issues with this that it should help too.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Good to see them doing stuff.
Yeah. Next up, Dell announced Alienware M15.
That looks just
It doesn't-
like the prior one.
It doesn't look thin and light, but as gaming notebooks go, it does.
Yeah, this is sort of Alienware's first entry into the whole kind of thin and light gaming notebook market. Like, we've seen machines like the Zephyrus and a bunch of stuff from MSI, like the stealth machines, but this is their first attempt.
Look at that twin cooling.
Yeah, exactly.
Huzzah.
So you can get it with up to the 6-core Intel part, the i7 8750H, and up to a GTX 1070 Max-Q. It comes stock with a overclocked 1060, they're saying. So even on the base level, we should still see a pretty good performance level. It would come with the quad-core processor at the base, though, so there's that. But beyond that, they have a couple different display options, 1080p, both 144 hertz IPS and 60 hertz TN, and then a 4K 60 hertz panel. No variable refresh support, no G-Sync support, which is kind of disappointing, especially with that 144 hertz option.
Yeah.
It supports the Alienware graphics amplifier, which is their external GPU solution that uses a physical, like, external PCI Express cable instead of Thunderbolt, which they've supported for several generations now. And you can actually find those amplifier boxes fairly cheap used on eBay. I was looking around. You can actually...
And they should still be compatible, right?
Yeah, I don't think they've broken any of that compatibility. That's kind of the entire point around this stuff. It's going to start at $1,300. You don't have any details on any of the actual, like, configuration options available at the end of the month. One thing you always can be concerned about with thin and light gaming notebooks is thermal throttling, especially with the 6-core CPUs and the 1070s. So, just kind of have to wait and see. But overall, it seems to be a pretty compelling package, at least. They're putting, like, I think a 96 watt-hour battery is an option in this thing. Just kind of insane for a gaming level notebook. You never see them put that high of a battery level option. It's usually a tiny, tiny little battery.
Yeah.
So maybe you can actually kind of use this as an all-around notebook.
All right. And the price starts at $1,300.
Yeah. Doesn't seem too bad. Again, we'll have to see what the exact, like, configuration pricing ends up being.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, already we're talking about this.
Yup.
CES 2019.
Dude, it's in like 2 months.
Oh.
I felt bad writing it, and then I realized actually it's not that bloody far away. Is
Actually,
it?
Oh.
Yeah.
I've just been getting emails about it for 9 months.
It's in exactly 2 months.
Man.
It is the second week of January this year, which is nice.
Oh.
As opposed to the first.
Wait,
How to tell somebody's been covering for tech for more than 5 years.
did you just say 2 months?
Nutshell right there. Oh, it's CES. Oh,
You said 2 months?
CES again.
Ah, well, I guess 3.
Damn it. Just trying to steal a month on me.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
It's still
soon.
a quarter of a year away.
Yeah, it is.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
All right. All right. Well,
No, I don't.
nope. I don't know either.
So 7 nanometer. Everyone's on 7 nanometer now.
Everybody's going to be talking Santa.
And you get a 7 nanometer.
But only Dr. Seuss might have some in her hands.
Oh, that's true. She might.
Yeah, we don't really know what NVIDIA's doing.
No,
I mean, they got the 12 nanometer stuff, and they're going to be eventually going to 7, but
I mean, not anytime soon.
They don't seem like they're going to be in a big hurry.
not in a hurry.
They don't have a reason to be in a big
I
hurry, I
mean,
don't
we
think.
could, but why?
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a design advantage that's not even funny.
Yeah.
You can only overcome so much in the current year with process node jumps.
It's true.
What do you make of these new AMD GPU, the 12 nanometer GPU rumors, Josh? It's the 12 nanometer.
I don't know
Polaris.
yet.
I don't know either.
Because mostly it's from what I understand, is they've made some basic improvements to the process.
Yeah.
And so, it faster switching, power reduction, but a lot of the density stuff supposedly is through the libraries and the design aspects. So you can have more dense chips, but it's not, a lot of the physical characteristics of laying down, depositing metal and etching and all that other fun stuff is not changed dramatically, but the design rules have. So it's going to be interesting to see. They could resynthesize the RX series, not so much RX Vega, but certainly Polaris.
Yeah.
To do 12 nanometer to get a little bump in speed and a decrease in power. But is it worth it? I guess the worth it would be if you knew the exact roadmap of when products were coming out next year
Yeah.
to figure out if a refresh is something that you could afford to do, because you're going to have new masks. Those are millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Change production, but Global Foundries apparently has a lot of 12 nanometer production capability.
Yeah. It feels like if you could put out a solid mid-range part for a reasonable price in the graphics arena these days, people would be pretty happy considering the graphics launches.
Yeah, I mean the
year.
RX 570 and 580s are selling still pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean they're constantly kind of on sale, and they're a good performing part. And yeah, they run a little bit warmer and they pull a little bit more power than like the 1060, but they're not that bad. I mean, they're for the price, I think it's a good product. And so having a small jump there would benefit AMD in the short term, but I don't know. I mean, I've heard rumors that this Saturday is going to be the release of the RX 670.
Yeah, I honestly know nothing.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I mean, nobody's told me squat, but that's not surprising.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there is a nasty hole right now in what used to be the sweet spot, sitting between $200 to $300.
Yeah.
Where you could go out and buy a GPU without, being an adult with a full-time job that can afford the damn thing, or without, saving yourself and living on ramen for 12 months as opposed to 6. But shopping around at that $200 to $300 mark right now, it's depressing, because you're looking at least a generation old, if not two. So even if it is just something that they've got that they've improved, I mean, it would just be lovely to see something sitting there that was actually worth picking up.
Yeah.
While you're sitting there staring at $1,200 for a brand new one.
Or
But we'll really
that
know if they
RX,
call it serious.
Vega 56 on sale for $499.
Yeah, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they rename this one Sirius, then we know there's trouble. It's gonna be a dog.
All right. Next up, Xilinx. Yeah, we were talking about Xilinx last week too. And AMD break Google. Why is the L
It's
capital?
GoogleNet.
GoogleNet AI inference record. What is an AI inference?
Well, so AI inference you hear a lot about training, about taking these massive GPUs like the Tesla V100 and taking an image set with known descriptions and training a given model to be able to recognize stuff, right?
Yep.
That's it's a very, very high level explanation of AI right there. But inference is the ability to use that model on an end device. So you're scanning something with your smartphone. Your smartphone is doing inference to the neural net.
Oh, I got you.
So
Basically, like a lookup.
yeah,
sort of.
exactly. It's running the neural net that you created, that you trained.
Yeah.
Running the model.
Identify this picture.
So that's last week at the Xilinx developer forum. That's kind of one of the areas that they were hitting very hard, is that their technology is very good at inference.
Okay.
And they were had a lot of claims about how they were better than NVIDIA in inference in some areas and some power efficiency stuff. But one of the things that came out of this was the Xilinx Alveo, which is, if you scroll down, is their first add-in card. So typically they just sell FPGAs to people who integrate them into products, and some people would make add-in boards, but they're running into a situation where these Xilinx FPGAs are available in the cloud with partners like AWS and Google Cloud, but people still wanted to be able to do the same application acceleration they were doing in the cloud on-prem.
Right.
Because some data you can't send to the cloud. Some
Mhm.
people still want to build data centers.
Mhm.
So this is kind of their solution. It's a new product line that they're saying they'll kind of continue with as new high-end FPGAs and their new ACAPs come out. And they're gonna target different PCIe form factors. Like they're gonna go smaller and bigger, essentially. Kind of target the whole power range from 75 to up to more towards the 200 watt area.
That card looks like it has 4 DIMMs and 2.
It does. It has DDR4 SODIMMs on it,
Yeah.
from memory.
And it also looks like it has a pair of 40 gigabit.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to ask if those are QFPs.
That it does.
I'm surprised that it doesn't have a fan just for that stuff.
Yeah. So they have an active one and a passive one. This is obviously the passive one.
I mean,
This is meant to
it's
be
in a server.
with,
It's in a server with minimum airflow requirements going through the
well,
chassis.
the passive one
No,
has lots
it's
of
going to
airflow
have significant
requirements.
airflow going through
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because of 1U, 2U servers that have those, 40 millimeter nasty ass fans that do 10,000 RPM.
Those aren't twin 40s. Those are twin 100s.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yep.
That's plenty of airflow.
Yeah. And sort of the second part of this is they brought AMD up on stage and they sort of announced this inference record that they've beaten by using a 1-socket EPYC platform with its 128 lanes of PCI Express and populating with all of these cards. They hit a ImageNet, which is kind of the standard data set for this sort of research for image recognition inference record using the Google Net, which is kind of an old AI model. So, I mean,
Yeah, but if you go back to that picture, something that we're not talking about, how much power that thing's going to have. Look at the 4 power plugs and where those power supplies are going to be at and what they're pushing.
Yeah.
Lots.
Yeah.
Pushing lots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have 225 watts for every card. Yeah. Then
Oh, what about
the EPYC?
250 per? So that's 2 kilowatts right off the crank.
Yeah.
So that APC 2500 ain't going to be doing much then.
I don't think you're running this
No.
on 120. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of an interesting thing, kind of bringing attention the inference stuff as sort of they're kind of targeting as the next battleground. They're saying that while training has seen a lot of adoption, a lot of people the training market has been increasing rapidly, and NVIDIA has been taking advantage of that. Inference is going to be orders of magnitude bigger because you have all of these edge devices that need to be able to actually interact with these AI models, like your smartphone and all these embedded IoT stuff, and they kind of hope to make a big play there. So, AI, it's the future.
All right.
And that's AI done by a googly net. Come on.
Oh man, that server needs a massive pair of googly eyes.
It
I think that was Googlenet. It's French.
Googlenet.
Googlenet.
Google NA.
I like googly net.
Mm-hmm.
Windows 10, take it away, Jeremy.
Oh
Yeah,
boy,
just
we're gonna be
say
here a
no.
while.
We'll just hand it right over to Jeremy.
It started out seemingly like your regular major Windows update where a small amount of people started screaming bloody murder. And, you know, fair enough, you had not enough space in your hard drive and you updated and it just, you know, it just wiped out all your local files. It's nothing major, you know. You've got them all backed up.
Oh, was that all?
And then it sort of snowballed a little bit to essentially anything running, I think it was a Gen 7 Intel processor that was
Really?
using the Intel display audio drivers.
Ooh.
Well, you just couldn't reboot again. It just wouldn't come back. And if it did, and of course you're running a laptop, because that's where these things are installed, your batteries got sucked to death immediately because the bloody thing was pegging at least one core. From there, it went to, no, it's not just necessarily people who didn't have quite enough space, but didn't have quite enough space plus a random extra amount, which Windows Update decided you have, in which case, again, your disk just got sort of cleaned up nicely apart from the system files, up to the point where it's now been sort of named the no documents bug. It hit the point where we haven't actually seen this officially before, where Microsoft pulled the bloody thing. You can no longer grab it either automatically or manually. And if you've got it, they strongly suggest you shouldn't install it, like, ever. Which is amusing because they were just about to start rolling out the Internet of Things devices as this was happening.
Mhm.
And we all know that Internet of Things devices have a lot of space on them. So it would have been very interesting to see what had happened. So it's
Yeah.
been pulled back, and they're now pushing it back out to the
Insiders.
advanced circle. So you know, if you're beta testing it, you're now allowed to get back into the beta program that we all.
I think
got
it's
a
even
chance
in
to
the
join.
slow ring by now, so all insiders have access to
so-
it.
So if you're an insider, you can try it again if you so desire. I don't know that you might want to at this point.
I mean, yeah. I did the upgrade on my machine and it didn't delete all my data, thankfully.
Hmm.
I think
Yeah,
as
I did.
part of this, they are releasing like a Delta patch if you are on that version, because I mean, there were like 2 million people that were
Yeah.
on that version.
Yeah, it was pushed out, and it's very quick.
Well, I don't think they
there's
pushed
also-
it to anyone. I think you had to go download it. I don't
Oh,
think
I
it
think
No,
that you
I
saw it.
the day it was released, I got on my work machine and I hit check for updates. It's like
Sure.
1809.
Sure, but it didn't.
Like, sure, I'll do it.
But it didn't automatically download it and say reboot now. I didn't get to that
Yeah.
stage. Like, it wasn't actively pushing it. You still had to go find it.
Oh.
But yeah. Not great.
So long story short, if you've done it, stop using your computer,
and I
step
did it.
away, phone Microsoft, or if you've got one of those things in your neighborhood called a Microsoft Store, which I don't think anyone's ever been to, you can go in. They swear that they have fixes for it, but the more you're overwriting, the harder it's going to be. But they are offering for a free service getting the files that they deleted back for you.
How kind.
It was, yeah, it's a nice touch. So as far as Patch Tuesdays and major updates go, this is a pretty impressive one.
Okay. So that knocked out 3 separate related news posts, all with the
It sort of snowballed
Yeah.
really quick.
all with one rant. All right.
Very exciting though.
Hey, look, RGB RAM.
No, it's more than that.
Oh,
It's double wide RGB
Ooh.
RAM.
Excuse me?
It's thick.
You
Thick?
could be the queen of my double wide dim
I
sticks.
don't understand. What? Oh, it's
So they're double capacity
It's
modules.
literally what we were talking about earlier today.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So the Samsung B dies are now going up to 32 gigs.
Woo.
Yeah, so from what I understand, this is an Asus thing, and they're working with G-Skill and someone else, I believe, to implement a not in the JEDEC DDR4 spec for double capacity, which essentially boards that have 2 DIMM slots, like ITX boards, allowing you to essentially stack the DRAM that would be on 2 slots into one. So you have 2 memory controllers on a Z390 board, but you would have 4 slots on a mainstream motherboard and a mainstream ATX motherboard. This is kind of compressing those 2 slots into 1 slot for each channel by putting more packages onto a DIMM.
Yep. So the DIMM would have the all the components of 2 DIMMs worth of memory, with the other bank of DIMMs, like, you know, whatever the select pin that would normally be high for one DIMM and low for the other one, like, is somehow it's wired in such a way that you're just connecting it to just one socket. So they probably had to manipulate 1 or 2 pins of the socket to do this, because the address and data lines are still the same, like the other stuff still be the same. It's just, you know, there's something different between those two, normally between those 2 DIMM slots per controller, that they've kind of merged into one thing here.
And it feels like only yesterday that I was fighting compatibility issues with single-sided DIMMs versus double-sided DIMMs.
Right.
Yeah, this is like a quadruple-sided DIMM.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's cool if you're into the small form factor stuff, the ITX stuff. You don't have to sacrifice memory now. I'm sure this will be expensive memory, considering it's not really widely available from a bunch of vendors, but...
Wait, isn't all memory expensive right
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Quadruple-sided
Can get you
DIMM.
some good deal on DDR2 if you want.
now? Ugh.
Hey, maybe this is the point in the universe timeline, or the timeline of the universe where, like, the quad is developed. That's the unit of storage capacity in the Star Trek universe for digital stuff.
It's probably
14
exactly this moment.
Kiloquads. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, there you go. This is one quad.
Actually, it's defined in the tech manual, but
Oh, well, sorry.
we're not that hardcore here.
Not
Yeah.
not at the moment, at least.
Nope.
I never bought that tech manual. Thought about it.
It's
Anyway.
good.
Yeah. All right. Hardware software picks of the week. While I'm opening these,
I'm gonna get an anti-pick of this Nest freaking furnace controller.
did it not?
It was
Did you
on.
notice it
It's
getting
on.
hot in here?
Which version of Windows is it running?
Yeah. Did it take the 18 whatever update? Anyway, while Alex is futzing with the thermostat.
And Alan is writing down his pick.
No, I don't have to. Well, I'll type it in after. I don't have a graphic to go with it. So hey, Sears is going out of business.
Finally.
You don't say.
How long have they been doing that?
It's been a long time coming. However, if you still have a local Sears store, like at your mall or whatever,
break your ratchet and go get it replaced.
well, first, any ratchets that you have that are probably loose, you know, if they don't feel like a new ratchet and they're Sears Craftsman ratchets, now's your time to bring them.
Although
to
that might be a downside because the Craftsman quality has slipped.
Well, it's just some
dramatically.
Yeah.
it's just some
It's
hardened.
actually going to be worse.
It's just some hardened. No, they don't replace the ratchet. They rebuild it. They have
Oh.
kits that's just the 2 hardened steel pins and the
Sounds
spring.
like something who's losing their job in 2 weeks is really gonna want to do.
Yeah.
Well, they're so used to it, like that it's a very quick operation and whatever. But those kits might be hard to come by later, so you
Probably.
know, make your Craftsman ratchet into a semi-newer one now. Also, from what I understand, there's like 1 or 2 more shipments worth of stuff from whatever the big Craftsman's warehouse in the sky, where all that stuff comes from and goes to all the stores. I overheard a guy stocking shelves. I was like, wow, they're still actively stocking shelves. That seems weird. And the guy was like, I overheard him talking to someone else, and they're like, yeah, there's like another 1 or 2 shipments or whatever coming. And they're progressively dropping the prices. So if you like are looking for some potentially super cheap tools or other stuff, like go at least check it out, because you might find some crazy deals. I had a trimmer of theirs that was acting up on me, and I was like, well, I better just go to the Craftsman store. And it's literally like everything must go. Like they have they have signs on the wall saying the fixtures are for sale. Like the things, like the shelves in the store, like everything in the
that's how
store.
this works.
Yeah, they're totally in like closeout mode, right? And I was like, they had like some newer model of the trimmer, and I was like, well, I just want the same model. I just want another one of the same model. They had like the 4 model up there. Who knows how long I've been hanging there, but it had never been used. And like, I just grabbed it, like walked to the counter, was like, eh? And they were just like, and they looked at me and looked over at the shelf, and I was like, yeah, sure. Like, we'll give you another 20% off of that on top of like the other whatever they were doing at the time. So I walked out of there with like a high-end trimmer for like $80.
Yeah.
Like a gas trimmer. So,
So, I mean, I would warn you that it looked like a war zone when they went out of business up here, but
if you
I've seen your Walmarts down there, and actually it's just going to look normal for you.
It was kind of crazy.
It was weird for Canada.
It was kind of crazy on the weekend. But if you like stroll in there, like if you can go like during lunch or something during the week, like it's, mine has been like a ghost town. I keep kind of wandering in there every so often, like every couple of days to check and see if they had some new truck worth of stuff come in and if they dropped the prices further. And sure enough, like I went, I think it was like last weekend, and then I went like, I don't know, yesterday, and they had already dropped everything another 10%.
Yeah.
So
and if they do it like they do up here, check the online, because I picked up 2 sets of 1,000 thread count bed sheets and a brand new pillow for less than $100 online.
Oh yeah, that's the other stuff. Don't just go there for tools. Like they're like 80% off patio furniture because it's winter. How are you going to possibly sell patio furniture with winter coming? Who wants to even buy it? So they're just trying to get rid of it. Like 80% off of patio furniture is expensive. So like,
to correct tool stuff, apparently they sold off Craftsman to Stanley Black & Decker in 2017. So your warranties are still going to be good. You won't have a store to go to anymore. But
but they will replace it with something else, an equivalent.
Sure.
Right? An equivalent item. They're supposed to keep the Craftsman name going, supposedly.
Yeah, no, they already had. Like they bought it in 2017, and you can buy Craftsman and Lowe's now.
All right.
Oh, you've been able to buy Craftsman at Lowe's for a long time.
April 2018, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah,
really?
I hadn't noticed that stuff in Lowe's.
Oh.
I don't think they're not stocked up in our Lowe's.
No, it wasn't Lowe's. It was the Sears outlet in Northside I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Lowe's has their own brand that they push, like Cobalt and stuff like that.
Apparently, Ace is going to be the official store of Craftsman going forward, according to the chat.
All right.
Place.
Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, just worth checking out. Find that, whatever that thing you kept seeing on the store at the shelf at the Sears store that you were like scoffed at the price and was like,
because people were walking around Sears store. That wasn't the problem.
That's true.
Did you notice if they're discounting batteries at all?
7 years.
That is true. It took me back like 10 years just going in the store.
Walk around.
I was actually kind of sad
because the one over here in the mall is damn big.
Yeah.
Like they had the home outlet too, so it was like
right. And I was kind of sad walking around the place because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this anymore. Like I'm gonna have to go to some other whatever,
Amazon
to do that thing I replaced it with.
Yeah.
Subconsciously over the past 10 years. Buying some Chinesium equivalent stuff off of who knows where on eBay.
Well, you're making the assumption that Craftsman is not Chinesium.
It's true.
Because
it's go to Harbor Freight and replace
that's also true.
the last couple sets of Craftsman tools I've bought, I've not been impressed with.
Yeah.
I went out and bought some sockets and split them right down the middle. First time, just like
cool.
What?
That's not good. Anyway.
And speaking of things that are going out of business, like we're losing the Toys R Us up here, but apparently whatever chain it is that does Jeffrey the Giraffe is now buying them all up here.
That's Toys R Us.
But not Canadian Toys R Us, apparently.
Sure, but U.S. Toys R Us is already dead.
Well, then
apparently Toys R Us is coming back somehow.
Yeah. Like rising from the dead sort of thing.
Have to start all over with the retail footprint. I'm sure that'll be great. It's like the one asset they had.
So, Jeremy.
Okay, so
what have you
if
chosen?
you were alive in this time, you might not want to go back because you're going to terrify yourself at what you thought was cool. Or at least stay away from the magazines, for God's sakes. But if you've never experienced it, checking out the Commie64 library that the Internet Archive just posted with over 15,000 emulatable games or, software. Like Bubble Bobble. Right there. Burger Time.
I
mean,
played
come
Burger Time on a
Castle
Commodore 64.
Wolfenstein.
I played Castle Wolfenstein on a Commodore 64. Ghosts and
Ooh.
Goblins.
Wait. Is
Yeah.
there Bungling Bay? Please have it.
It has to be
You
near
got
the
Ultra
top.
Beast.
Ooh,
There's
sex mission.
Shoplifter.
Gotta have sex mission.
Where's Bungling Bay? There's Jumpman.
Hey, Bard's Tale, the original.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, I've
sweet.
got that on Steam now.
Okay. One of the best game soundtracks ever.
Oh,
The
wow.
Last
Yeah.
Ninja. Where is Raid on Bungling Bay? That's like one of the good Commodore games. Archon. Archon was a sweet chess game. Ghostbusters. Yep.
The list keeps scrolling and
Sex
scrolling and
Mission.
scrolling.
What
That's-
the hell is that?
That's disc 2 of 2, side B.
Oh, I don't. the
You will
closest-
even get hacks and like the Donkey Kong bootleg.
Yeah.
Like
There was-
it's freaking everything. Battle
Load
Chess.
Runner.
Oh, that was a fun one.
Load Runner was sweet.
There's why you're on
Erotica
Bungling
3.
Bay.
Where?
Right there, staring you in the face
Oh
beside the
man,
mutant camels.
I never knew what the cover for that looked like.
Oh, wow. Sweet.
Yeah, Raid on Bungling Bay was sweet. Attack of the Mutant Camels, also sweet.
Ooh,
Oh, the
Epic.
first Hitchhiker's Guide to
That's
the
a
Galaxy game should be in here somewhere.
I played so many of these games.
Oh yeah,
That's a name we haven't seen in 20 years.
River Raid. There's a lot of games that, like the Commodore was one of the.
Oh man, Mule.
Yeah, Mule.
Mule,
was
down at the
freaking.
bottom.
Mule was such a sweet turn-based.
Oh, I'm going to have to edit this in post, ain't I?
Why?
'Cause
You
it's
got
got
it's on the
boobies.
Internet Archive.
I mean, I
It's
don't know.
open. But if you keep scrolling, you will eventually run into zines and mags and it's an interactive magazine and I can click through it and it's so amazing.
Yeah.
I really suggest you don't ever do that. You're probably going to ruin your childhood.
Like there were some games back in the day that like the Commodore platform was just like one of the better ports compared to everything else at the time. Right? There were just
What,
some
like Trash
games.
80 that Ken has made me think of when he picked the soldering up?
Yeah, like one of the big titles was like Congo Bongo when the Commodore first launched, right? And it was just that's such a cool arcade game that, and it was like the Commodore was like one of the few platforms that actually looked like the arcade game, Anyway, good times. Yeah, those were the days. Okay.
And now you can relive them.
Well, you're talking as if I don't have like every Commodore ROM already.
Fair point.
I haven't played them recently, but
Forgot who I was talking to.
anyway, are we still on Jeremy's pick or are we on Josh's pick?
No, Josh.
Jerish?
Cheers, me. Just because, the 9900X has been released at nearly $600. I figured that this one on sale with a cooler will give you 90% of the performance for half the price. Yes, it's the 2700X. It's now under sub $300. You get a good cooler. Seriously, good cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, you can happily turn off the lights as well, which is nice. But they're solid cooling, and you get 8 cores, 16 threads at 4.3 gigahertz. And they run nicely.
That's not too shabby at all.
Yeah.
And they're inexpensive.
Yeah.
I almost.
Weird. I was looking for one of those earlier today, and I couldn't find one except on Newegg.
So you have a couple of days where it's going to be at this price before it jumps back up. So if you're curious, you're going to get more PCIe lanes, possibly more flexibility with M.2 and SATA, because let me tell you, mixing and matching M.2 and then seeing which of your SATA drives works with Intel, from my limited experience, really sucks.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as bad on the AMD platform, because I've got a Z97 in there, and I was happily running like 6 drives, and I put an M.2 stick in there, an NVMe, and suddenly I have 2 SATA drives that work, and that's it.
Yep.
No matter what you do, you're just boned.
Well, sometimes you can put it in one of the other M.2 ports if there's another one.
There's not on this particular one, but
Z97's old enough that they're still on DMI 2.0, I think. So it was way more bandwidth constrained.
But it's awful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Not a great
How about
experience.
No.
470 is a much better chipset.
It really is.
All right.
So there you have it.
Ken, what you got?
So, China.
Mm-hmm.
All the way from
not,
New York.
Not just for knockoffs, as it turns out. Sometimes they actually innovate. There's been
Just
this...
ask Supermicro. Okay, that's not true,
Aw.
but anyway.
It's the wrong kind of innovation.
I don't know, at least a year or so now, there's been a product on the market called the TS100. It's kind of a little like pen-sized, made out of aluminum soldering iron that had like a 19-volt power supply with a barrel plug on it and these interchangeable tips. It was actually a pretty good performing soldering iron from what everyone said. It was like 27 watts or 30 watts or something like that, right?
Okay.
Like, so it's not a whole lot of power, but it's the type where it has the thermocouple built into the tip, so it can heat up super quickly.
And you tell it which temperature you want it to go to.
You can get to like 300 C, and it was all fine and dandy. But they're just coming out with this version. This is the TS80, which is actually odd because it's a lower number than the older one. But anyways,
is it supposed to be smaller, kind of? I guess.
Yeah, but apparently it performs just as well, if not better, if you look at some of the YouTube reviews. But this one is USB Type-C powered, and it uses a Quick Charge 3.0 connector. So you just get a like $10 Quick Charge 3.0 wall charger or a Quick Charge 3.0 battery.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't think you were supposed to solder your laptop while it was powered on and charging.
Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And you have yourself just kind of a very portable, pretty high performing soldering workstation for $80. This particular sale comes with some of the accessories, comes with the power plug adapter.
Does Tim come with?
Tim? No.
Tim?
No, stim.
No soldering.
Soldering
Tim.
thermal interface material.
So it comes with two tips. Comes with like the chisel one and the fine point one. Comes with like a little stand. Which comes with the USB-C power adapter, which a lot of the cheaper sort of packages don't.
Is that a C to A?
No, it's a C to C.
Oh, there's a C to C? The
Yeah.
cable looks like a C to A is one.
I didn't look at the actual photo, but a quick charge 3.0 charger is usually a USB-C port, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, $81. You're gonna have the slow boat shipping from China, but you know.
Did you order one already?
I haven't yet. I just came across this sale. If you go on YouTube and look at some of the reviews, like EEV blog did one.
If you compare this to any other, I just need to solder something, this looks way easier.
Oh yeah, and it will be higher performance than your $35 Radio Shack iron. It will heat up way quicker.
Yeah, small portable thing, like you know.
If you need to go solder something in your car, like you just get a Quick Charge 3.0 battery, and you have a really, really small portable soldering iron package that will perform really well.
Yeah,
like
it was only a couple weeks ago I had to solder something on a car, and the stupid battery-powered one I had just wasn't cutting it.
Or the butane ones that suck.
Yeah,
those are terrible.
Not made for electronics don't buy those at all.
Running like this extension cord halfway down my driveway just to plug in the stupid soldering iron was kind of cumbersome. I should probably just order this right now.
Yeah, no, like I'm excited to get my hands on one.
All right.
Yeah.
I got a fourth one here.
Yes,
is this Alex?
It is.
What?
This one's mine.
What? I thought this was Maury.
No.
Not nearly big enough for him.
Oh, that's true.
Hey, this is plenty big. This is size does matter in this regard. So there was one guy actually asking in the chat looking for a higher performance cooler. Well, this is great timing because this thing's freaking amazing. It's the Noctua D-Type NF-A15. This is actually the one I was looking for is the S version, not the standard version. This looks like this. I don't know if this is the S or not. This might be the standard.
Well, this is the one with the
A15S.
Is that the S?
Yeah, it says in the product description at least.
Oh, yeah, I was looking at the NF-A15. So yeah, the NHD15S. This is a revision of the standard NHD15, which is a revision of the D14.
I think so.
And the difference between the S and the standard is that the S has one fan, and the fan assembly and the heatsink assembly is offset. You can barely see it in this picture, but it is actually. If you get on the next one down, it should show it.
Here.
There you go. So this clears most motherboards' first PCI slot.
Oh, it's offset to the right.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's like interesting. Interesting.
I had about 2 millimeters clearance to the GPU and about a centimeter to the power supply. This thing covered the entire CPU area of the motherboard.
Oof.
I didn't need an exhaust fan. It just blew it right out of the back of the case.
It's pretty awesome.
It's huge. I mean, the box is bigger than my head. It runs quiet. It runs cool. It took my 8700K right out of the box to 5 212 cores and 4 7-on-6.
Sweet.
You know what? If you got the room, buy one of these instead of an all-in-one liquid cooler, because eventually your liquid cooler is going to get loud. The pump will have they just get loud over
We
time.
have-
That's
we
what I
have
And
noticed around
honestly,
the
even
office.
fresh out of
Yeah.
the box, the performance is not that different.
We have all sorts of different brands of liquid coolers. Like we have them on all of our test beds,
Yeah.
pretty much, and they all make noise now.
Oh,
Yeah, but apart from the layout, it looks like my U14S or my Threadripper.
Yeah.
I think mine actually weighs a bit more
Yeah,
because the gold
these are
plate's a bit
actually
bigger.
these are actually very light. The Noctua coolers.
that is not a light piece of metal at all.
Oh, it's not.
No,
No.
it's just over 1.1
Yeah, I
kilo.
think you're used to the smaller ones.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys got the NH20s or something around here?
Which ones do we
I
got?
think there's
I've-
the U14s.
I don't know if those are the
I can't
14s. Those things
remember
are.
their-
I could never find those online because I was actually looking for a set of those.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They didn't
Um,
seem that heavy when I was.
Well,
That's
the
all
ones
right.
we have here are really quite light, but this
Yeah.
thing is a
Yeah,
beast.
we have the lower end ones. But-
It's only like
well,
half
and
of
you,
this.
you sort of forget how much a heatsink used to weigh. Like 500 grams was an absolute monster of a heatsink,
Yeah.
and now you're looking at it going, "What the hell am I supposed to do with that? Chill an atom?"
I
Yeah.
mean, it had no problem holding my CPU to ADC. And it went from ADC down to idle 35 in less than 5 seconds. It sucks some serious heat.
Yeah.
And if you want to push it even harder, you can. It includes clips, so you can get a second fan and run it just like the standard A15 or D15, I should say. I've been very happy with this.
All right.
Cool.
Sweet. Well, I guess that does it. PCPer.com/podcast where you find the show notes. And Twitter.com/PCPer is where you can yell at us. And now that Jim's back, sort of, he hasn't died yet.
Yay.
Then
Submit your mailbag questions.
yeah, put mailbag
to-
questions in the comments of the mailbag that will go up. We'll probably
Today.
tomorrow. Yes,
Thursday.
one of those.
No, Friday morning.
No, it's good. We're doing it Thursday. Giving it to
Oh,
the people.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, since
Oh,
it's
nice.
already done.
So put the questions there or in the comments on the YouTube video itself. I'd probably say you're better off putting the comment or the questions in the
In the
in
mailbag.
the article, in the mailbag article on the
Yeah.
site. And
Before we end this,
uh-huh.
there's something happening this weekend.
Oh yeah. That's this
So
weekend.
somebody might show up.
Wait a minute. Why wasn't there wasn't a plug?
Oh.
My bad.
Not like it's not the first thing on the front page right now or anything.
How did
But
that
yeah,
get there?
so this Saturday, kicking off at ridiculously early in the morning Eastern time, so about 9 a.m. or so, there will be the Fragging Frogs VLAN. It's going to be ridiculous because it always bloody well is. It will go on because we've got some overseas members that don't show up until later at night. So, if you do have stuff to do during the day, don't just brush it off. No, once you're done your stuff, log in, have some fun. There's going to be people at the 17th VLAN. So come, join, enjoy. It will be wonderful.
I will
Yeah.
at a minimum try to at least be on the TeamSpeak or whatever the chat method they're using in there. I'm sure it'll be.
I'll probably show up for a little
Team
bit.
Speak.
yeah,
I guess
think could
Fragging
probably be
Frogs
around.
have a World of Warships group, so
They do.
that's cool. Yeah.
There's almost always people looking to play. And more often than not, several people playing.
Wonder if anybody will play that stupid.
The
Tank
fun
King
people
that I
are
can't
playing
remember
Dino
the name of.
D-Day, but, that's just up to us.
Okay. I guess that's it.
Yeah.
So with that, I say Have a good week.
I say.
I say, and yeah, check out the mailbag. Now that we actually got one.
Gotta check out the mailbag.
Sweet.
It's freshly shorn.
Yep, it's all Josh.
Oh, Josh, all the time.
Jim made some funnies within the as Josh was scratching his head about different things. Jim was inserting them into the video in comical ways.
They are quite amusing.
It was good stuff. All right, so I guess we'll see you next week, and yeah, that's it. Hasta la vista.
Well, except you're not going to see us
Bye.
next week. Ryan's not going to see us next week.
Everybody's
Josh is
going
not gonna
next
see us.
week.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll be here.
So
Okay,
There's-
bye-bye.
everyone's just fucking right off, aren't they?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're just gonna run away.
Yep, run away. So there was chat where we were talking about this, the heatsink fan assembly, and the thermals, as reported to the operating system on my 8700, is an 80C is listed as high, and
Sure.
103C is listed as critical.
Sure.
So my process was to just keep cranking the clock up and then loading up cores until it ran to about 80C and then back it off a notch.
Sure.
So
fair.
it would settle down at around 78 when the ambient temperatures were
Normal.
74 Fahrenheit, give or take.
Okay.
I mean, what's the
Now-
the sweet
now-
spot?
Well, I mean, instead of like backing things off necessarily, I would probably just go in and probably like up the fan curve a little, because those Noctua fans are super quiet anyway,
Right.
and I would just let it spin faster.
Yeah, it was the fan was all in by 60C.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you already. Oh, wow. And you were still hitting
Yeah.
80.
uh-huh.
That might be a little aggressive for I don't know.
I mean,
No?
I was beating on
Once
it pretty
our
hard
thermal's
for.
rattling into the 90s. 80's fine as
Yeah,
your,
yeah,
as
yeah.
your max, as your upper limit.
Yeah, I mean, it was stable. It was
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Well then.
How do you avoid chafing if you're beating on it that hard?
There's anti-chafing cream.
Kentucky jail. Or
Anti-shaving
Kentucky
cream.
jelly.
Yeah,
Yep.
Kentucky jelly is
I've had to use anti-chafing
Kentucky
fume.
jelly.
We did 2 weeks on a
best
dive boat.
toast.
And it was like after that first week, apply daily.
That means you're putting it on after you've already cooked it.
Yep.
That's the wrong way to go.
Yeah, but when you're mitigating a problem, all you can do is mitigate it.
That's just a band-aid.
Mm-hmm.
Then you should be using aloe vera instead.
Yeah. Well,
No, that causes burning. You gotta have
Josh, speaking from experience.
lanolin. It's where it's at.
oh God, lanolin's great.
Oh, wow.
Well, up until you actually have to squeeze the lambs yourself, and then
Oh,
it just becomes
oh.
a hassle.
Stop.
Oh.
Ken's
Now that
ordering
we've
a soldering
destroyed the
iron.
conversation.
Yeah,
Yep.
silicon. Can get it on Amazon for 110 without having to wait on the slow boat.
Same exact one.
Same kit,
Probably
and
still.
you'd have more of a warranty.
You'd have a warranty.
Yeah, because it's through SaneSmart, which is at least more of a U.S. facing brand than random seller on Banggood.
You're gonna make me spend $110 on Amazon right now, aren't you?
I don't want to hear it.
I need someone to test it.
Ken's a really
Almost quaint.
Ken's a really bad influence on me.
You're a bad influence on me too.
What's this thing called?
It's the TS80, the TRS80.
TRS-80. that's
Trash
what I
80.
started typing.
No.
Oh, that's
Yes,
funny. I
I-
just realized I didn't have BF4 installed, so I should do that before the podcast. And
Hmm.
the
The TS
entire install is 32 gigs. That
The-
just seems small now.
The TS100 is $65.
Yeah, but you can't hook it up to a battery. So if you ever want to do that,
Oh,
because it has a barrel jack, and I mean you could, but you know,
all right. So there's this. Add to cart. Where's the battery? Is the battery a recommended item? Let's see.
Battery.
Amazon, you're failing me.
yeah, I'm surprised.
Failing me for the last time.
Yeah,
Well, I
the
don't
batteries
believe.
are a bit pricier than you would expect for I mean, just any quick charge 3.0 battery would work. So they have different capacities from all the usual people. You can get 10,000 milliamp hours for $36. God, I love
That's
that.
not bad.
How much soldering do you need to do, Ken?
I don't know.
All of that.
Quick charge 3.0 battery.
Chathan says that all of our earphones look like garbage,
It's almost like
especially these Grados.
Yeah, these are the
They're
pair
terrible.
I keep here
Yeah, I
to
got
do
these.
the podcast.
It's almost like these were given to us 4 CESs ago
Yeah.
by that workout company thing, which I think is still.
Yes,
Yeah, these are
Chainsaw,
my
I
$9
sold them from work.
monoprice.
Oh,
Well, the monoprice ones are $9.
Well, my monopress ones died again.
Really?
Well, my kid stole mine, so
Well, you know.
yeah.
Anchor. Anchor 10 amp hour. $40.
Yeah, next time I'm gonna buy like a 5-pack of those monoprice ones because they work beautifully, and that will cost me like what, $25-$30.
I mean, honestly,
much.
we bought some to keep around the office for this scenario. Like someone forgets a pair of headphones to the podcast we're having guests in or something. And, you know, they work pretty well for that. Just kind of
They do.
disposable headphones. I've never listened to anything but you guys on them.
And
But if you're truly an
always
audiophile, you
more.
should go check out the hardware leaderboard update.
Oh, man. With
Oh,
sound card.
yeah, I saw that.
Uh-oh. What'd you do?
I'm sorry, at this point, if you are buying an audio card,
Just putting all 32
you're
in
spending several $100 on it because you have a specific purpose to do it.
there. Oh, man.
Like it's not even
What is it?
saying I'm going to spend $80 on a DSX or something.
It's
Like because it
Turtle
doesn't make
Beach
any sense.
Santa Cruz. And an Audigy too. Nice.
Classics.
Nice.
It makes vinyl so warm.
Oh, man. People are actually going to buy those and be like, why?
Oh,
Hey, you still get
It's
$200
so
worth of free
expensive.
games
And why does
on
it
the
come with
Sound
Halo?
Blaster.
Came with
Sorry,
Halo?
Josh.
Yeah.
I have embraced and
That's
engaged
amazing.
quite
Wait,
a bit.
that's on
the-
there?
Came with 5 games: Tomb Raider, Halo, Rainbow Six,
All the
Splinter
blocks.
Cell.
All the blockiness.
Awesome.
I mean, hell, if you were going to try and buy those on Amazon now, they charge you an arm and a leg because they're classics.
Yeah.
You can
I
get
think I
it
still
and a
got
sound
those
card.
games.
I had an
no idea.
AWE32.
Next
Two of
update,
them.
Luther. Next update.
I've switched all my stuff to full digital. Just light pipe right off the back to the amp.
Our take on Intel 9900K testing before NDA. I think the system configurations were bad, and
Before the NDA, or do they mean like they want to know what the take is of having testing out there before the NDA?
I think the testing in that white paper is bad. White papers happen often, and we should just wait for independent results. There we go.
I personally think that like white papers and other stuff should come out the same time as the reviews. Generally, I'm
Yeah.
not talking about the issues they had with
Sure.
their stuff. Just like it should be like even playing field. Generally,
Yeah.
right. If you're gonna have a launch of a product with an embargo, like, and you're gonna have some company do testing, like, just it should all be the same.
Yeah.
Well, and
I mean, the
Generally-
testing they had done is because they wanted to make the claim of best gaming processor. So
Yeah.
they needed to have the testing available to make the claim from a legal perspective, although the testing wasn't very good.
Yeah, I
so,
think
you know.
they might have rushed it a little bit.
There's plenty of analysis
A little.
on that, and I don't really care to talk about it anymore.
We've
It's just
because we've been talking about it like all day long,
You know,
and some of yesterday.
yeah, I walked in this.
always wait for reviews.
I walked in this evening and I was like, so about that Intel 9000 series, and you just hear this.
Just yeah.
Oh,
Seems
man.
like there's been a lot of that these
We got to
days.
rehash the same conversation we were just having all day.
Oh,
All
look,
right, I
someone's
gotta go,
being
guys.
Stupid on the
It's
internet.
been yet again a lot of fun.
All right.
As
Well,
per usual.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Peace out.
See ya.
Yeah.
We gotta call it.
Yeah, I
I
need to
mean, I
go
guess.
poke some test beds.
poking test beds.
With a stick.
Generally use a screwdriver, don't you?
With a stick.
With a stick. Test bed with a stick.
With a stick.
All right. I'm calling it. Oh, look. We're calling it like right on time.
Yep.
33, 32.
That's before 59?
I don't know. I'll be wondering.
I don't think it's before midnight.
I think it might actually had an issue with the wraparound because I tried to set it at midnight AM and it like freaked out.
Oh.
So yeah, it's 9 seconds till 10:59.
And on that note,
I'm glad
On
we're
that
not doing
note.
anything important like over the midnight
I don't know.
I mean,
that you needed
the
to.
timer doesn't matter. The timer's only for us.
Man.
You're talking about this thing like people can see it and they can't.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
I
sure
mean,
it's
you can
very-
probably see it like right there in my side shot.
sorry.
Oh, all right. Shutting on down.
See ya.